All right, guys, it is the first Tuesday of June, so you know what that means? New Humble Choice games. I see a lot of games on here that are really, really interesting. I already have Phoenix Point. Awesome strategy game if you really like that. But let's go over them like we always do, and we'll figure out ones that we'd like to play. Okay, so first off, we have Star Wars Squadrons. This is an EA game, it looks like, and it's going to be on Origin. It is basically your usual flight sim, but with Star Wars components. I don't know, like, I haven't been very happy? Is happy the word that I want to use with EA's game development and thought process? But this is supposedly a really good game. So if you like these sort of like Star Wars flight simulators, I mean, this is enough. This is $40. Bam. Next up, as I said, this is Phoenix Point Year 1 Edition. This is actually made by the original XCOM creators. It's really, really interesting to use, but it is horribly difficult, just like the original XCOM. It's got all the DLCs, which makes it the year one edition, and it's got some really good graphics. The actual like point and click of being able to shoot at specific areas, which will actually have different things that come with it, is amazing. You also get a vehicle, right? You get like a vehicle that you can actually peruse in and stuff, but it has the basic outline of XCOM. Still a great game that I would actually recommend. I think I've actually put, if you look on my channel, back to some of my videos, check it out before you buy it, I have actually done like about an hour's worth of the game from the start. So if you'd like to see what the game is actually all about, just look through my past videos. All right. Next up, we have Call of the Sea. Now this is supposedly really good. I've actually seen somebody play this. Shout out to CJU on YouTube. He is my go-to horror game YouTuber, which I like to watch a lot of his stuff because he plays a lot of indie horror games. He's British and he's awesome. So if you want to see your horror fix, go see CJU. Tell him I sent you. He doesn't know me, but still. So Call of the Sea is a 1934. It is the far reaches of South Pacific. Nora has crossed the ocean following the trail of her missing husband's expedition and finds herself in a lush island paradise, a nameless, forgotten place, dotted with remnants of a lost civilization. What strange secrets does it hold, and what might Nora unearth in her quest for the truth? So this game is a very Lovecraftian walking simulator thriller. All right, the horror elements are kind of small, but they're more like body dysmorphia horror elements. If you like the whole Lovecraftian theme, this is a great go-to game for that. Voice acting is on par. The animations are really great. The colorful setting of the world is fantastic. And then the shifts to sort of a mundane, sort of black and white, dreary aspect as the game kind of goes on. And the puzzles are really interesting. Next up, we have Game Deck. I have not seen this. Game Deck is a single-player, non-combat cyberpunk isometric RPG. You are a game detective who solves crimes inside virtual worlds. Use your wits to gather info from your witnesses and suspects. Get to the bottom of deceptive schemes, save lives, and investigate the extraordinary relationships between virtual worlds and their inhabitants. The game continuously adapts to your choices and never judges. You are the sum of your choices. That sounds really interesting. So it is basically an isometric RPG, but it's not a combat RPG. It is more of a storytelling RPG. Very interesting. So it reminds me a lot of that other noir detective story that came out a little bit ago. That is amazing. God, I can't remember what it is called. You know what I'm talking about. It garnered a lot of great things, right? But yeah, my dogs are about to get into a fight. So hold on.
Hey.
All right, so that was fun. All right, so on to the next game. We have Pumpkin Jack. Pumpkin Jack is what looks to be a platformer. All right, again, sorry about that. So Pumpkin Jack is a spooky, scary 3D platformer in which you embody Jack, the mythical pumpkin lord. Dive into an epic adventure through otherworldly landscapes and help the evil annihilate the good. So it's a colorful cartoon setting, as it says right here. You travel through a lot of different landscapes. It's your basic 3D action platformer, action combat game, and everything else. You have to solve puzzles, fight for your life, and you get helpful companions. Seems very interesting. I'd like to probably look at more of some of the aspects, some of the gameplay and stuff like that. The photos are just of him. But, like, I'd like to see what, I don't know, what the gameplay is kind of like. I might play it. I might try it out. Who knows? Next up, we have Siege Survival Gloria Victis. Okay, so this has a whole community on Discord. Okay, these walls can't fall. Set in the medieval world of Gloria Victis, Siege Survival Gloria Victis sees your country invaded and your city under brutal siege. A small group of civilians are trapped in the only remaining stronghold, and you are the last source of hope for the defending troops hanging on for dear life. You might not be fighting the invaders yourself, but the fate of the city lies in your hands. Support the last soldier standing against overwhelming enemy forces and hold out until reinforcements arrive. Build your camp, manage resources, craft supplies during the day, and scour the fallen city for resources and new civilian recruits at night. Survive the siege. Depending upon what's left of your city, are a few tired troops in dire need of arrows, weapons, and armor, along with treatment for the wounded. You need to keep the last bastion of defenders supplied and supported in every way possible ahead of their battles every few days. Otherwise, the enemy will eventually storm the keep. Not only that, but you also need to protect your civilians and your camp as you are assaulted by waves of flaming arrows and giant boulders. So it is interesting. So it's kind of like a city management game. And a tower defense game all at once. So that's very interesting. I think I'd play this one. So this does seem like a very interesting game. Next up we have I Am Fish. This is a really fun, interesting game that I have seen played by several different people. Where you are playing, it's a puzzle game, obviously. Where you play as a fish. In a fishbowl or a jar. And your goal is to get to the ocean. So, I Am Fish is a charming, physics-based adventure starring 4 intrepid fish friends, forcibly separated from their home in a pet shop fish tank. Over the course of the game, you join them as they swim, fly, roll, and chomp their way to the open ocean from the far-flung corners of Bernardshire, the smallest country in England, and their bid for freedom and to reunite once again. So we have several different fish types here, I guess. So, fantastic friends, meet our heroes. Goldfish, cheerful, brave, and adventurous. A natural-born swimmer, pufferfish. A little slow, but kind-hearted, who can also puff up into a ball and roll across land. Piranha, wild, chaotic, loud, unpredictable, and loves to bite, obviously. Flying fish, a little aloof at times, but a real softy at heart, with the ability to glide through the air. These plucky heroes will leave no bowl unturned, putting their heart and soul, that's a pun, into the mission to reunite. So basically, yeah, you have to do these sorts of things, puzzles based on the types of fish that you have, to get to the ocean. And they're like pretty complicated too. And you have to make sure you don't pop your bubbles. So I can see this getting like a very mostly positive rating. Next up, we have Super Hot Mind Control Delete. I have the original Super Hot, which is good. Super hard and awkward at times, but it is a good game. It's basically like a. If you haven't known what Super Hot is by now, like where have you been? But this is the third game in the groundbreaking series. I don't have the third game. I have just the original first game. But basically, it's like a time movement gun actioner.
Hey.
So, I mean, if you like that sort of thing, it's great, but it can be really kind of fluid and weird at times. And I think those are all the games for this month. You know, you still have access to the Humble Exclusives collection, which has some new games on there, which are really good. This specific one, the charity for this month is the Trevor Project, and the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ young people. So this is a great, great thing. Specifically with it being Pride Month, they are probably like, you know, hey, this is what we can do, which is great. Happy Pride Month, guys. So, those are your games for June. Let me know in the comments what games you want to play, what games you would like to see playing, and let me know how your June's going so far. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.